Good morning, excellent people. My name is Mary Frances. I am one of Henry Junwali's Qigong students. Welcome to Medical Qigong Practice. Happy Monday morning. If you are new, please don't feel like you have to learn all of these exercises all at once. As you practice, they will become more and more familiar to you. So let's go ahead and open up for warm-ups. We're opening up to the left. Our feet are going to be hip width, shoulder width apart. The feet are also parallel, so the toes aren't pointing out, toes aren't pointing in. We're going to soften the knees, relax the low back, relax the shoulders, soften the jaw. Tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. We're allowing the tailbone to drop just a little bit, and we're allowing the head, the very top of the head, to elevate to the sky just a little bit. Breathing in and out through the nose. With the tip of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth, we're going to start swaying from side to side with the hands in loose fists. Going gently, especially at first. Warming up the low back, warming up the hips. Gently and gradually warming up the spine. Allowing the mind to focus in on the areas that are being activated through the tapping. And gradually letting that lead arm travel up towards the opposing shoulder. Letting that arm come back down the body. And relaxing the hands, taking away the momentum, allowing us to come back to the center. We're going to widen our stance by moving the left foot out just a little bit. I'm going to reposition myself so I'm in the center, and then we're going to tap the inner thigh and then up at the hip. Opening up the channels first, the yin channels in the legs, then the yang channels in the legs. Transitioning, widening our stance a bit more, tapping down the inner aspect of the legs. We're working on the yin channels now. Before then working our way to the lateral aspect of the legs or behind the legs, the posterior aspect. Coming back on up. Bringing that left foot closer to the right, still maintaining hip width, shoulder width distance. And then working our way up to just underneath the rib cage, the low back. Greeting the musculature there. Getting it ready for the morning, the day. Before then placing the palms at the back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Warming the area, warming the low back. Before then resting the palms at the low back, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, allowing the mind to connect with the breath and the energy, guiding it to the low back, guiding it to the kidneys. Exhaling, now allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. allowing the tissues of the body to relax. And allowing the qi to flow freely. Opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides and closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. We're going to work on our heart and small intestine exercise that we learned on Saturday from the basic 8. So we're opening up, hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is okay. We're inhaling as we gather in front of the lower dantian, shoulders rolling forward, our hands are in claws. We're inhaling all the way up. Lifting the palms and the feet out, exhaling as we sweep the arms out to the sides, brushing the backs of the hands to the inner thigh. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Working at your own pace. Working with that heart fire energy, small intestine fire energy, our summer energy. And getting ready to close. Releasing the hands and closing. We're continuing on with our Golden 8 series, the lung and large intestine exercise, reach for happiness. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In and out. Now working with your own breath, working with your body, harmonizing the breath and the movements. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our second exercise, also for the heart and small intestines, the archer exercise. Opening, inhaling, exhaling, in and out. Allowing everything to stay relaxed except when activating that claw. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our third exercise between heaven and earth for the spleen and stomach. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Allowing the breath to generate the movement. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our fourth exercise for Sanjiao. Turn and look back. Opening. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our fifth exercise for the liver and gallbladder, twist and release, opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our sixth exercise, bend for health for the kidney and urinary bladder systems. Opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling back to standing. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our seventh exercise, the energy punch exercise for the Ren channel. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. Excuse me. And out. If not already seen. Inhale. And exhale. Getting ready to close. Closing. Kaylee was defending her kingdom. Kaylee's the dog. Our last exercise, the energy jump exercise for the dew channel opening. It's in 2 parts. Inhaling as we allow our energy to rise. Exhaling, bringing it back to the earth. Part 2, inhaling and exhaling. Closing. Keeping the feet together as we bring the palms together, working on our facial rejuvenation ending series. Washing the face 9 times. Wiping the brow and underneath the eye 9 times each. Wiping up and down the nose 9 times. And then circles 9 inward, 9 outward, 9 times each. Imagining just underneath the pupils at the cheekbone, there's a little divot. Inward and outward 9 times. Taking the fingertips, dredging the channels of the scalp. Beating the drum 9 times. And then grasping the ears 9 times, each side. Popping the cork 9 times. Connecting the ren and the dew, placing finger at the philtrum and the other on the mandibular crease, inward and outward 9 times each. And then massaging the jaw 9 times each side. Our number changes to 12 times total or 6 times each side. Brushing down the throat, guiding the energy down into the torso. And then continuing on down the breastbone, still 12 times total or 6 times each side. Placing the palms of the lower dantian, 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. We're now gathering the chi into the lower dantian, 9 circles up the right and down the left. And then circling in the other direction, we're concentrating that energy into the lower dantian, still 9 times. Resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up. Exhaling, allowing it to settle and store so that it may be utilized throughout the day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax, the body to relax, and the chi to settle and store. Thank you, wonderful Qigong people. And thank you from rainy Los Angeles. Henry, please take over and give us our Chi Chat.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It's Monday, and it is raining in LA. Thank you very much, Mary Frances, for teaching us the classes today. So we've been doing a lot of 5-element discussion in our Chi Chats recently. And yesterday we had a little self-quiz with the 5 elements. So it gave people some insight and some ideas of perhaps what elements they are primarily. So I do want to talk a little bit about some clarification on some of the 5 elements to give you, again, more details and more understanding, appreciation. And to note that all of us have some aspect of some of all of these elements, but predominantly most of us are associated with primary and a secondary. Although, you know, you may, like, even if you have like no metal, for example, which is the element that's more about someone who's very organized, someone who's able to have very good boundaries, maybe too good boundaries, someone who strives for perfection. Maybe you're not perfectionist, maybe in certain things you are. Okay, so we do all have some aspect. Maybe it's just 1%, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 90%. So but I want to go over kind of what the quintessential personality, what kind of person, so they can associate a little bit better with each element. So we'll start at the top with the wood element, which is spring, which is the organs of the liver and gallbladder. Okay, this is about, you know, getting things started. So quintessential wood personality is like an athlete. All right, so I've been watching this that Michael Jordan series, and so a really quintessential wood is that athlete that wins at all costs. Someone who's really focused on one goal, and they will do everything in their power to get it done. So that's really the wood. Really quintessential wood is that focus, really good at doing one thing really well. So yeah, think of someone who's like an athlete, like their purpose is to either score or beat everybody else. get the top prize, something like that. So that's wood. Okay, the next element up is fire. Okay, we're in the early fire season still. And this element's related to the heart and small intestine. And it's a person who, so I talk a lot about the more frivolous part before, but I want to emphasize that, you know, it's not just about fun. It's not just about joy and laughing. It's really someone who leads by the heart, leads by their heart. Okay. Some of the other elements, they may not lead as much by their heart. They may be more practical, or they may be more idealistic. Okay. So those are the other elements, but this element with fire, it's someone who really leads by their heart. So if you really associate with the fire, then that's something you might want to consider. Okay. The third element, the next one is earth. Okay. The earth is related to the organs of the spleen and stomach. And that's also the transition time. Everything goes back into the earth when we're between elements. So right now is actually still an aspect of earth because we're technically between spring and summer. So the earth we look at as someone who takes care of other people. They may not take care of themselves very well, but their purpose, they feel, is more about taking other people. If they have like a family, if they have children, then that's their their top goal, is to make sure that their children are okay. So think of like a earth mother, someone who just takes care of everybody and makes you feel great, and you know, bakes you cookies and stuff like that. So that's the earth. Next up is the metal element. Okay, metal element we associate with the lung and large intestine, and this element is more associated with intelligence. So so heart is more about, you know, the leading by the heart, literally the fire. And metal is more about leading by the mind, like what makes sense logically. Okay, so they tend to seek perfection. So the quintessential metal person would be like a scientist, you know, like someone who goes by the cold hard numbers, right, and not as much by the people. So I'm not saying this is a good or bad, but this is kind of, you know, some of us tend to just try to be very cut and dry, and that tends to be more the metal personality. And then lastly, we have water. Okay, water element is related to our kidneys and our bladder, and that's with the winter element. And this is usually the last element in the 5 element cycle before it goes back to spring again. So this is the last element. We say this is, in a way, the closure, the death of something, something kind of going into the most yin part of the year. All right. But we look at water as quintessential, as kind of like someone who's like a philosopher, someone who, you know, you may go to at the mountaintop to ask for sagely advice. Okay. Again, they may not be as practical. Okay, so they might have a lot of great sayings. You might quote them a lot, and that tends to be what the water gift is. But if you want more practical advice, okay, that would probably be more like earth. Okay, earth is more grounded in their advice, versus fire is more about leading by the heart, and wood is more about purpose, getting things done, and metal is about, you know, being more that perfection and being very objective about everything. So you want totally objective advice, find someone who's metal. All right. So hopefully that gives you some distinction about what the quintessential personality is related to these 5 elements, as we do more work exploring these elements later this week. So thank you very much for joining us. And we'll close class. Let me see if there's, looks like something with chat. Oh, yes. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow. Oh, if you didn't join us on Sunday, we did do the quiz. It is online in terms of our video class. So all the questions I read out are there. If you can take it yourself so that you can be prepared for later this week. Okay. Thank you. Bye.